It's Wednesday. I made a quick video talking about my day, but then I remembered the whole point of me making a video was I'm pretty sure I'm getting catfished right now by someone online, like a scam, one of those scams. And it's pretty bright back there. So, yeah, she hooked me really good, but this fish ain't like fighting to get away. I'm just like hovering around. Like, I see the red flags, but I still don't want to like abandon ship or whatever. I'm still curious about it, just in case. But on January 1st, I got the bing on the dating app when my pole was just in the water. I didn't do anything. I mean, I liked her at some point. And then she replied back right away. And we said the intentions or whatever, not messing around, looking for this and that. She's like, well, if you give me your contact information, I'll message you later or something. She has a family business and not on the app much, apparently. I don't care anyway. So we transferred to texting and we text a while. And she's like, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Can we go to WhatsApp because it's easier to like use it through a computer? Which is fine. I never used WhatsApp, so I'm using that. And you can send voice things. Well, here's another red flag. During the texting with the phone, like her emojis that she was doing were coming up in a different language, and it said Mandarin, like when I searched it with AI. So that's kind of weird, right? That's like Chinese stuff over there, China. And I asked her in the WhatsApp, I'm like, what nationality are you? And she's asked me to guess. So I guessed Mandarin or some other one. I don't know. Because it told me that. And she said, no, she's Russian. And she's born in Russia. She's been here 7 years. She has this family, like, makeup business, like distributing or whatever. And just good conversation in general, and it's nice to talk to someone sometimes, and then you think you're on their level, and then the stars aligned right on the first, so it's sent. Actually, turns out it's probably a big freaking test, and if I didn't go through all these things, I would totally probably be caught up in it. But I've noticed the red flags, like with it wasn't really love bombing, but kind of. And the texts are so long, it's like you can't even take it all in. How do you respond to all that and think? And then here comes another one. So I put up the boundary originally. And then, like, she'd send pictures and stuff. And of course, she's like a beautiful woman, right? Like, they look like Instagram pictures, which I wasn't oblivious to that. But then some of them looked like ones that were normal, but still really good. And she's well off and owns this and that, and just looking for someone like me, right? Lucky me. This wealthy woman that is traveling, whatever. And then to backtrack for a second, in the dating app, because I screenshotted all this, she said, leave me your contact info, and if we vibe, we can meet up. Something like that. So after we got on the WhatsApp, she unfriended me or unchatted or whatever it did. So it erased all that, and then she was gone. So I can't see anything on there, but I screenshotted it, which is good because I can remember what was said. And anyway, where I was going with that, yeah. Well, then, like, the next day, she's like, my aunt... When I say this out loud, it's going to sound so stupid, but they wrangle you in. And she said her aunt worked on Wall Street back in the day, and, like, she's going to take a trip to New York with her aunt or whatever and hang out. And then, like, hours go by. That's the day I went to the state park. I was taking all those videos in the snow. And then at night, she sends me a picture and a video of, like, a plane, like, from the plane, like, landing, and a picture of her in the plane. So everything looks real. And then I'm the first one she thought of, guys. She even said that. Like, I usually message my parents right away, but you were all that kind of stuff that makes you feel good. And then she gets to the house and sends me a picture, like, I love this place, whatever. And it's just like a normal room. And then, like, her, like, in bed, like a selfie. I mean, it still looks professional almost, but she's wealthy, right? And everything looks good. Her skin, everything. And then she sent me one in the morning of, like, the morning hair, yawning. It looks real, but I always questioned it. And before that trip, she's like, can we do a short video chat just to make sure that we are who we say we are? And I think this was day one. It was right when we got on the WhatsApp. So yeah, cool, right? Because I was skeptical then. My brother even said, sounds like whatever it was, a scam or something. But I'm like, no, she's going to do a video chat. So I did the video chat, and I did it outside the gym because I had stuff to do. I was in my car, and I answered, and it's hard to see anyway because it's got your little screen, your face, my face taking up the screen, and then the rest is her. And it kind of looked suspicious at the time. Like it was super close up, and it was just like a white wall and at an angle, and her hair, and then the super thick Russian accent. It was hard to understand too. But whatever, I thought it was her, and then after it's like messaging me like, oh, how do you feel? Like, whatever. Like, I'm nervous on cam, and like I didn't smile, and all right, she's like, I was nervous on cam and I didn't smile, and she said her heart was racing when she saw me. Yeah, my sexiness or whatever. No, she didn't say that, but she did say something about her heart racing and nervous. And the smile thing caught me off guard. Well, it raised a flag because all her pictures, perfect teeth, perfect smile. Why wouldn't she smile? And she said she was nervous on camera and like doesn't go on the camera much, but she's super photogenic, right? And she's been sending me like just amazing pictures of her with like famous people. I don't even care about that. Like her mom or her aunt was on Wall Street, so she's showing me pictures of her aunt, and then like the CEO of JP Morgan or something like that. And like I could care less about the status or money or anything like that. Your money's not my money, so who cares? And it never even affected the way I felt. Like I didn't be like, oh my god, this is my lucky break. Like I was grounded the whole time. But there's still like some truth to it because you don't know if maybe, I mean, there's wealthy people out there and maybe they don't want you to, they go to them just for their money or something. I don't know. Think of a reason why. But it was just suspicious. And yeah, I forgot where I was talking now. Dang it. Let me pause it again. I'm going to make a longer video of this at some point when I have all the stuff in front of me. This is just going off my memory. And I'm still talking to her, but now I know for sure, or I'm 90% sure that it's a scam. But like she'd say, she said, oh, I'm going to the Empire State Building with her aunt. Because she's not on business. She's just going there for a trip. And she's going to the Empire State Building with her aunt. And then hours later, here's the pictures, And then she'll be like, it would be cool if you could go, just random stuff like that. Well, then the next day, yesterday, I'll just say yesterday because it was yesterday. She's like, I gotta go to the bank. Oh, no, I gotta backtrack. So the Empire State Building. Then either that day or the night after, she said that they were going to a dinner, like a special dinner with her aunt and like big wigs, and they're whatever. So she sends me a picture when she's there. Looks really like ritzy, and the butlers, they got gloves, white gloves and everything. And she said like how nervous and awkward it was to be there, and she's like, I can't be on my phone during this event, so it seems real, right? Like, cool, whatever. Then later on, she's like, yeah, I don't even want to say this out loud. She's like, yeah, my aunt has in her group of analysts, like, there's a big deal, something's gonna happen Tuesday with Bitcoin or whatever. And I'm just like, whatever. I don't care about that. I invest too, but I ain't gonna listen to some person on the internet. And I didn't ask about it because I don't care. And yeah, so that happened. And then yesterday, she said she was going to the bank to take out money. And then she said, like, oh, I hate how they make a big deal out of when you take out this money. And these long explanations of things that are believable. But I also know, 11/11, that people that lie will just put so much detail in there, so you just automatically believe it, right? She's talking about the banker and her experience there and all that, and then she sends me like a selfie of her driving to the bank before that, and it's New York, the landscape's wet, and I'm like, it's winter, right? Well, I had the AI search like the weather there and whatever. It was the weather, like wet and like 40 and the same weather that looked in the picture. So I believed it because there's like, man, red flags, but stuff's kind of believable. And then after she said she was going golfing with her friend, and I'm like, golfing, that's kind of weird in the winter, but turns out they have those indoor ranges. So hours later, she sends me a picture with the girl she golfed with, and yeah, then just constant texts about golf and how it's good for business and how you can learn a lot about someone. And I mean, it all makes sense. You can learn a lot by their reactions when they miss putts or shots or whatever, and everything's so believable because all that is true. And then the spacing in between, like when she does, she would just say I'm going golf, and then hours later send me a picture, whatever. Well, yesterday it was the big trade, right? Tuesday, and I never asked about it. Don't care. But it was like late last night, like 8 o'clock. She sends me a screenshot of this Bitcoin transaction, and it was like, it's leverage trading, like 50x. Like, you can do it, but it's super risky. And it showed like 2 transactions. One was like 40 grand, and the other one was like 30 something. And then she made like 35% profit in a minute. But that is believable. It does happen, but you could lose your money that fast too, all of it. And she's like, oh, an explanation of like how to, whatever. I didn't respond about it because I don't care. I just said, oh, that's awesome. She said I was lucky, which I am. But I didn't ask about it. I don't care. I didn't believe it. I was skeptical then because I was already looking into the scam stuff like the day before that. And that's what they do. They will do this game for like a week to a month to a year just to suck you in it. So she's not going to try to get me to do it until they really reel you in. And I'm not interested. I'm not asking about it. And I'm just like, oh, congratulations. That's awesome. Like, you should celebrate. Like, I'm playing along with the game, because why would you brag about that? She told me too, she has these real estate investments like all over, and she makes 150 grand in dividends a month, which is insane. So like, why would you care about making 20 grand or whatever? Because they want me to be like, oh my god, can I make some quick money? Well, I'm not gonna do that because my radar was already up. But I didn't ask about it. But she sent all these things about the Bitcoin and trading and like, just a bunch of junk shit that I didn't want to read. But I played the game or whatever, and then today, well, I'll backtrack some more. Like a couple days in, she's like, "What's your expectation to meet? Like, when do you want to meet?" And in the original Bumble thing, it said, if we vibe good, we can meet or whatever. So I'm like, I don't know. What do you think? And she's like, I'm thinking like end of February and early March because I have a lot of work I'm doing, and then I'm going to take a long vacation. And I'm like, that's way too long. I'm not going to get an emotional attachment and then maybe meet you a month later, and what if we don't even vibe? You know, and then you already have that attachment. Well, that's what they want. They want you to get that attachment. And going through all this crap that I went through before, like, I know, like, it's just the intuition stuff was on right away, pretty early on. But still, you don't know because it is believable. So I said no. I didn't want to wait that long. I'm like, maybe the end of the month we can meet, but we have to do video chats in between. And of course, she agrees with it. And so the Bitcoin thing last night gave me a little more of a trigger, a red flag. So this morning I'm like, I don't know, said the good morning stuff, and she said, right, I asked for a video check. I'm like, can we do a video chat like today or tomorrow? No pressure or whatever. And she responds like all of these messages like, I never told you this, and I don't really tell people this, but I lost my husband 7 years ago, which she did mention before, that she was married and her husband was killed in an accident or something. And she's like, I never tell people this, but I feel so open with you. Well, anyway, today she elaborates on it. This long story about he was driving home and we were on the video chat and whatever, and I said I love you and can't wait to see you when you get home, and just pulling at your heartstrings. Then he hung up, and then he died in a car accident. So who knows? And this happened in Russia, by the way. That's why she ended up coming here with her aunt, because I don't know, whatever. It's a big story. Like, I can't even remember all of it. I will make a longer video though, because I'll go through the chat log. This is just off the top of my head, and it's still going on. But I'm kind of like playing the game back now that I understand. So what's going on? But yeah, so the video chat thing. So she sends me all that stuff. Like, I have like trauma from it, and like I'm just, I don't know, whatever. So I said, I don't know what I said, but she's like, well, if you want, it's a guilt trip basically. It was a big trauma dump, like huge paragraphs of trauma, and then, well, I can if you want to, or the way it was worded, it's like manipulation basically to make you feel bad if you ask. So I'm just like, no, it's all right, I understand. But she already agreed. I already went and looked at the chat log before I did this. She agreed to do the video chats. Didn't say anything about this fear of it. She's like, of course we can do video chats. Yeah, back days ago. That's part of the scam too. Of course they don't want to be on video because it's not the right person. In the original video that I had on my little phone, it wasn't opened. I got the Z Fold, which is pretty sweet. Like, it kind of looks suspicious to me, but I don't know, it's weird, you know, when you first meet someone, and the angle is a little off sideways, and like the language barrier, kind of. Well, that's part of the scam. They'll do these quick videos where it's an angle up close, so you can't see the background, and yeah, and she's in these beautiful hotels and whatever, and she can't do a video chat with a white background. You know, you think you'd be. I've sent her videos where I'm walking around the woods like I normally do. So that was kind of a red flag. Another one. Look at all these red flags. Yeah, so today I asked her the video chat. And then whatever, then she's like, oh, thankful. I've never met someone as compassionate, all that bullshit that they tell you that you want to hear. Very good manipulators. How? Online, I guess they have scripts, and they probably just copy and paste. I can search what he likes to do, and then these are professional freaking scam artists. They are. So then later on, she's like, I'm gonna donate some of my crypto winnings to like the homeless and all this stuff, like to pull at your heartstrings after the trauma dump. I mean, look at how this would affect your mood, right? That's like the manipulation part. But I'm resistant to that because I know what's going on. But she's going to donate her money to the homeless, you guys. And then later on, she's like, I'm trying to sleep, and I'm bing, boop, boop. I got like 4 messages when I woke up. And one was, she's like, I'm going to go to the nursing home. I like to visit elderly and blah, blah, blah. And I knew in my head, I'm like, yep. And I said this out loud. I'm like, she's going to send me a picture later. I guarantee it, because that's the pattern. And then, of course, sends me a picture hours later, like with a message about whatever. And you are me. She's like, you're a compassionate person, because I work with, I'm not going to tell you where I work, but just, having compassion for people like I do on here. So they know where to pull on your heartstrings. But I'm just thinking in my head, man, this is total BS. So, like, that's the status right now. I kind of just want to mess with them. Like, now that I know that. Like, I'm 90% sure that it's a scam. I mean, it is. I'm 100% sure. Because the only thing that made me not think it was 2026 is going to be amazing. Like, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm calling in that person on my level. And then, ding, January 1st, I'm like, yeah, this is a person right here. Wow, just fell into my lap. Let's call it a freaking test. How about that? So that's why it was, like, believable. Because just that divine timing, right? But now, I'm going to mess with them a little bit. And maybe I'll just play the game. Because you wasted a week of my time. And I never got the bond. I never emotionally, like, bonded with them. But, it's nice to talk to someone and be heard, and vice versa. And you think you're building, like, whatever you're building. Strangers to friends to lovers. That's what she told me. And this was a person that lived like an hour away too, so it was like, the only reason I even entertained that was, it's an hour away, whatever. But then it turned into, I travel here and there. She told me yesterday too that she wants to take me on a trip and all this stuff, and we can, it's just out of this world, right? Who's gonna believe that? Well, a lot of people apparently that are lonely out there. This is the word. Maybe I'll lay it on or whoever it is. It's probably a dude, but I'll lay it on them. Like, how can you do this to people? Like, and how do you sleep at night? Like, I'll get them really good. Don't worry. But that's the scam, and eventually, this is only 1 week. This is with my boundaries too, because it was so much, it was draining getting all those messages and trying to respond, but it's this amazing thing, right? So I had to put the boundaries up and whatever, but so the timeline is they get you hooked emotionally. I'm going to pause this and I'm going to bring it up on my tablet so I can tell you. All right, I just pulled the first thing up, and look at this. It's called, whoops, don't look at that. It's a white screen. Okay, look at this. Pig Butchering 101. Right? Isn't that a effed up scam? It says love bombing, which I guess it was, So phony profiles, crypto, then they bond with you with those emotional things. Oh, you're such a, they're on dating apps. They take your time. They earn your trust. Then investing, manipulation, encrypted messaging apps like WhatsApp. Then they ghost. Fake trading platforms. So the fattening, pig butchering scams earn the name of fattening livestock before slaughter. In this investment scam, criminals are willing to spend weeks, even months, building trust with victims, fattening them with fake profits and emotional connections before extracting every dollar possible. Unlike quick hit frauds, these scammers play the long game, cultivating relationships that make their victims believe they found a financial opportunity, romance, or both. And then cryptocurrency, fraud. Yeah. So I'm very well aware of it, and I just did a little research on it, so that kind of woke me up to it. But what pieces of crap, right, to do that to people? It said online like $3 billion in so many years that these people have. I don't know who it is, but overall that these scams steal. And just imagine the average person that's looking for a relationship, and oh man, I found this amazing girl. It's everything I wanted, right? There's got to be someone out there looking for exactly what I'm looking for. And I found it, right? And the scam artist. I'm trying to find a timeline quick. So 1 second, I'm going to pause it. Right, here's another thing. Pig butchering scams are fraudulent investments where scammers use fake online personas to trick their victims. And I have all these texts and screenshots and everything, the Bitcoin stuff. I used the screenshot through AI, and they said it's real. It's like a real thing. And yeah, whatever. That's how fake it is. It's so real, but it's fake. But it looks real, right? Does that make sense? Scammers use social engineering techniques, artificial intelligence, and technology to gain trust, manipulate emotions, and exploit financial vulnerability and steal money. Real-life examples show the devastating financial and emotional impact on victims. So that's what they do. They F with your emotions. Oh, my husband died. And all this stuff, a big trauma dump. That's why I can't be on video. And what are you going to do? You have no choice, really. You either press for it or you... Yeah, I understand. That's horrible, right? And then it was I'm going to donate to the needy. And then you... Oh, God. And then I'm going to the homeless. And now you're up there. And who knows what's next, right? The roller coaster ride from hell. But I'm so glad that I figured this out right away. How pig butchering scams work. They're sophisticated and awesome. Well, let me say this too, because I might not say it. These are like teams of people too. So one person might be doing the morning and one person might be doing the night, or they do multiple people. Who knows? It's a well-orchestrated process to deceive victims and steal their money. While there are some variations, the scams typically follow a similar pattern, creating a fake persona. They often pose as successful investors or attractive singles on dating apps and social media. The faked identities are carefully crafted to appeal to potential victims' interests and vulnerabilities, and use artificial intelligent generated photos and fabricate backstories to make their persona seem incredible and trustworthy. Then initiating contact. Scammers will contact potential victims via dating apps, social media, or random phone calls. They may use scripts and pre-written messages to initiate conversations and gauge the victim's receptiveness. They often cast a wide net containing numerous potential victims, hoping they'll find someone to fall for their tricks. Not me. Building trust. They spend weeks or months building a relationship with the victim. Romantic interest or investing experience. They engage in frequent friendly communication, showing interest in the victim's life and sharing personal stories to create a false sense of intimacy or rapport. They may not initially bring anything up about money or investments unless the tactics specifically target investors, which I am. They may be mirroring techniques to match the victim's language, interests, and beliefs and create a sense of connection or familiarity. Scammers sometimes may even send small gifts or tokens of affection to gain trust in the emotional development. That's number 3. This might be a long video. I didn't mean it to happen, but I might just make it for myself too. Saying it out loud makes you realize it more. Then they introduce investments. Once trust is established, the scammer steers a conversation toward investments, often involving cryptocurrency. This turn is usually framed as an opportunity to build together or help the victim acquire wealth quickly. Scammers present themselves as experienced investors who want to help the victim get started. This is her aunt, the Wall Street one. In the dinner that they had, she overheard that what was going to happen Tuesday or some shit like that. That's what she said. So, and I never even asked about it. I don't care. Nothing even happened Tuesday anyway. There was no dump or pump or anything. It was just that leveraged, or just a little movement. See, $500 down, but you times it by the 50x or whatever. That's why it's huge gains. But you could lose it all too. But she had insider knowledge, guys. So then they prompt deposits. Scammer convinces the victim to download an investment app or visit a fraudulent investment platform. They walk the victim through the process, create an account, make an initial deposit, which is relatively small. Scammers may even let the victim withdraw from the amount to build further trust and make it seem legit. And then, gosh, here's more. Once the victim has made the initial deposit, the scammer uses manipulated data and fake reports to show huge returns on the investment. They encourage the victim to invest even more money to capitalize on the success, often using time-sensitive claims that the big opportunity is about to pass. That's what she did yesterday too. She's like, when you have money in the market, you're just you're against time. If it goes up, it might not move at all, and she can make that much money in a minute, you guys, in a minute. Well, here's number 7, the Vanishing Act. Eventually, when the scammer has extracted as much money as possible from the victim, they abruptly cut off all communication and disappear. Can you imagine that? Getting ghosted and discarded, basically. So these are things I've been through. So it's kind of, I'm not doing that again. The fraudulent website or app is taken offline and the victim is left with no way to access the supposed investment or contact the scammer. In some cases, scammers may even use the information gained during the scam to commit identity theft or target the victim's friends and family. Son of a bitch. Because I did send pictures of me and stuff. Because they did. They were sending pictures back and she's like, well, when I do meet your family, how am I going to, so they convince you to do that, to send photos of yourself and whatever. Wow. It said the $4.4 billion in 2023 to pig butchering. In February 24, cryptocurrency and blockchain analysis found that 33% of all crypto scams were pig butchering scams. So, well, now the more that I read this, I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I didn't give them personal information or anything like that. Besides what was on the dating app and photos of myself and stuff. But they can go after my uncle if they want to. I'm just kidding. He would probably fall for this, actually. Sorry. So, warning signs of the pig butchering scams. Too good to be true investments. Pressure to invest quickly. Romantic interest from strangers. Oh, that's what she said. Strangers to friends to lovers. Yeah, wow. So that is what I'm going through. Now I'm 100% convinced. And I'm 100% gonna mess with them and waste their time. Like, I will just... I'll I'll take care of it. Don't worry. So be aware of that. That's why I didn't say anything, you guys. I made a video. Like, I contacted someone. This big fish bit the line. It was Jonah. It was the whale from Jonah and the Whale. This huge fish just came right into my life like this because of my abundance mindset. But I didn't post anything because you never know. And now, like, it took me a couple days to figure out, but this is exactly what's going on. And she just messaged me 22 minutes ago, you guys. I love we already had a really good day. How did your meeting go? Are you home or in town? I spent most of my day visiting some seniors and making a small donation, and now I'm winding down and ready to head home. That's the message I just got. So, this is the chat. I don't know if you can see that. This is the chat log. Check this out. And this is like in a week, okay? You get my drift, right? And then there'll be pictures and stuff if it shows. I don't know. I don't usually use my tablet for this. I'm on my phone, so it's not showing the pictures. But she's like sending pictures of like what they're eating and all this and that, and it's very believable. Until yesterday with the crypto thing. But I'm just gonna toy with them now. Seriously. I'm just why not? It's like trolling like a telemarketer. Just waste their time. I don't do that, but this one I'm going to because this is like a week worth of time and that was wasted. But I am glad and thankful that I've learned all these lessons and going through like manipulation and tactics and stuff and ups and downs. And I'm not saying that against anybody. I watch videos like this all the time. Like this, I'm curious about this. And just the way tugging at your heartstrings, and because I'm a good person, and these people target good people, elderly people, lonely people. So I have a real disdain for that, like targeting innocent people, and then they're pretending to be like, oh, I'm gonna visit grandma in the nursing home people and donating, when they're really out to, I almost swore, when they're really out to steal your money. Your life savings or whatever. And the average person might be like, oh my God, you just made all that money in a minute. And you have this insider knowledge. Like, tell me, please tell me. But I'm not stupid like that. I don't care about money like that. I'm not greedy about money. And nothing comes easy, you guys. So I think that might be the video. And I didn't mean this to be 40 minutes long because I think I can go way longer if I go through this. And like, what do I do? Do I contact the FBI or something? Like, I have no idea. But I'm going to tell her, oh man, I don't know. I'm just going to play the game. I'm not going to bring up crypto or anything. I'll just play it out and just, dang. I can't believe this happened. I'm more kind of irritated that I sent pictures of myself and videos, and because we're trading, you know. But what I just read about them targeting like their victims or your family or something. What the? So let me pause this quick. Right, this is a different article, and it says in a traditional scam, they approach their victims by posing as possible romantic partners on dating apps or a friend on social media. The key difference lies in how the scam is executed. In a traditional romantic scam, trust is based on the victim's desire to maintain a romantic relationship with the scammer. Because of this, traditional romance scams can last sometimes for years. Look at that. They do that for years to get your money. Pig butchering scams, in comparison, generally take place over a shorter time frame, rather than focusing on extracting money solely through emotional manipulation. Just like I said, They lean heavily on the victim's desire to make money together with the scammer. Oh God, I gotta make money, you guys. They often involve just a few months of talking with the victim. Still, a few months? And you think you're building the 3 months to see her, probably. And you think you're building this relationship. Look at that, 3 months, because I'm gonna be on vacation or whatever. Organized crime groups. Pig butchering scams are typically run by high organized criminal groups. These groups have management teams, provide training and new recruits, and often hire people as models who occasionally interact with victims. So that's probably a real person in New York with the weather exactly how it was. And yeah, that. I don't know how far I want to go with this. I think I'm going to end it here because I'll do more research on it later. See, this is the stuff I dive into. This might be my next new thing. You know, I'm very curious about it because it's a horrible thing to do to people, for one, and the big time waste. And I fucking, sorry. I ended up deleting the app because she did too, and we have this great connection. And then she asked me like 3 days in, did you delete the app? And I did because I thought it's a decent connection. It's good. It is good. And I'm not looking for other things. I don't really care. I don't care in a way anyway. I'm focused on my stuff. So this is just, so now I gotta I'll do the whole app again too because of this person. So, dang it, I went 40 minutes without swearing, and then I said the F-bomb. So, forgive me out there. Things happen, especially when you're getting scammed and your time is getting wasted. But, alright, we'll just leave it right there. And I'm gonna mess with this person right now. Peace.